If you're an unhappy fan, Steve Sarkisian has a message for you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, I think that we've set a standard around here of the way we play football. And there's an expectation from our fans about the way we play football. It's fast, it's physical, it's tough, it's smart, it's exciting. And at times we didn't play that way this weekend. And I think at the end of the day, they're spending money, they're coming to games, they're sitting in the heat. They want to make sure we give them something to give them a reason to be there. And so that's not the only reason we're all there. We're obviously there for as a team, our own goals, our own aspirations, and what we're not only trying to do on that Saturday, but for the duration of this season. But also, man, our fans offer so much support to us that it clearly, if they were booing about the way we were playing, just imagine how we were feeling about the way we were playing at some of that juncture in the first half. So understandable. But again, don't give up on us too quick. I think we got a pretty good team.
I'm Bobby Burton. He's Gerry Hamilton. Matthew Hutchison behind the scenes as producer. This is On Texas Football, brought to you by Dr. Brett Robin. Gerry Hamilton, I've got to ask you that last piece there that Sark gave out. Imagine how we were feeling as a team on Saturday. Sark at the microphone today talked a lot about improvement, said Arch had a great practice. Your takeaways from that press conference this morning?
Yeah, I would agree with him. I'm sure the coaches were, a little miffed how they were feeling. I think more. I'm talking about the coaches here. I think the players probably felt worse on Sunday when they went to film study and watched it offensively. But yeah, look, that was just ugly. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it was just not good offensive football. And like we talked about on Rapid Reactions, you can point at every position and say, hey, there's nowhere on offense that escapes it right now, whether it's drop passes, whether it's missed blocks, whether it's running backs not seeing the hole, whether it's offensive linemen missing assignments or tight ends missing blocks or quarterback, or, you can't escape any position right now. So you do know that a team that's ranked number one in the country preseason, when things start to not go well on offense for that team, that's the calling card under Steve Sarkisian, that you feel a little bit more stress. You feel a little bit more shaken of confidence, because that's really what I see, Bobby. I just see a confidence shaken offense and quarterback right now.
I do too, and I think that's fine. And what you're describing, the problem that you're describing is you're describing an offense that is unraveling.
Yeah.
Not just not performing to expectations, but literally unraveling. And I think that's what a lot of fans have to understand. This is a work in progress. They have 8 new starters, and we'll have to see where Texas goes from here. I thought, Gerry, that Steve Sarkisian's demeanor at the press conference was fairly, I'm not going to say upbeat, but he wasn't throwing the towel in on this season at all. He said, we're going to get better. This is the way it's going to be. We have to work through it. He even said, and I wanted to get your take on this, that he thinks this adversity that Arch Manning is going through right now is going to help him long term. Hey, make you a better man, make you a better quarterback.
If he comes out the right side, the other side of it, I 100% agree with that. Now, when will that happen for Arch is the question, and that's going to impact this season, I think. But I agree with Sark. Look, this is not being a quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports in this country, because it is the position that is talked about the most. It catches the most blame when you lose and the most accolades when you win, even though you're playing a team sport. Look, it's in the pressure that Arch is playing under to start this season, to build up for all of it. That's immense for guys. And we talked about on Coffee and Football this morning too, Bobby. Now college quarterbacks, the major college quarterbacks, are making 7 figures. So they're pretty much living the life of a pro everyday quarterback without actually being a pro, because the expectations go to another level. And that's the one thing about fan bases, and I'm not saying anything negative about fan bases, but this is one of the pieces of NIL that's not talked about really, is when guys start getting paid, the fan base is going to have different reactions when the struggles happen. because no longer are you really just a student athlete. You're a pretty well compensated athlete that I'm not even sure we're talking amateur athletics anymore at these major college levels. So I do think if Arch, when he gets to the other side of this, I think it's going to be a great thing for him. My question is, when can that happen for him?
He was speaking to the media a little bit today, and I felt like he had a little bit more smile on his face for whatever reason. I thought it was good demeanor from Arch. Actually, he was up at the mic with Michael Taft today, post practice. So was a couple other guys. And some news out of that press conference that we would be remiss not to mention. C.J. Baxter will be out for this weekend, the running back who missed the game after the very first play. Sark did not mention the injury, but we understand that it's a hamstring. He also said that Cole Hudson, Xavier Phil-Smee, and Kobe Black are now all questionable for Sam Houston State. Interestingly, the highlights of his game included included three things on special teams. Mason Shipley, 2 for 2. Bomeister got back to punting, and then obviously Ryan Niblett on punt returns. Is that Sark's, idea that, hey, Texas may be turning the corner on special teams, or is that just because he had absolutely nothing to say positive about the offense on Saturday? I tried to take that in a little bit when that was his opening statement, and that was the things that he saw were best about Saturday's game.
Well, I think, look, I think Sark had great demeanor today, considering, look, the Saturday was really rough. And those coaches, if we all know it, the coaches know how much improvement has to be made. So I think it was a little bit more of 1B than 1A to your question. I think, look, there was not a lot of positives on offense. I mean, James Simon, his first game action was really good. But I do think, Bomeister, Mason Shipley getting it done, and obviously in the return game getting it done. Well, that was big. That was big for Texas. Now, I hope Sam Houston State outkicks the coverage as well next week. I think that really helped Niblett, because Niblett was, the first couple of games, was fielding short punts. He actually had a chance to make a return on a couple of punts where they outkicked the coverage, which was really good. I venture to say Sam Houston State will short punt more this week and kind of look at the film. But it was good to see Niblett have success. And again, though, still two blocking the backs on special teams, Bobby. So, but it's improvement. And I think right now for Sark, it's not all negative, but you really do have to you have to magnify. You have to really talk about those positives and give those guys praise. And look, I think that some other guys played well on offense, but I just don't think there was enough of it to really show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a reality. I am happy for Ryan Niblett having an opportunity to show himself, because I talked with Bob Shipley and Brian Irwin earlier today, the two coaches, Jerry, for lunch with a coach. And obviously Bob Shipley had two kids that returned punts for Texas, not just Jordan Shipley, but also Jackson Shipley. And, he said, look, I'm a changed man on Ryan Niblett right now. The first two games, I was a little worried about him because he wasn't going up and fielding punts, but he looked secure catching it, then did a little something with it afterwards. So that's a movement in the right direction. As we look for, to your point, things that are positives about this team, that's a big one. All right, before we move on to the next topic, I want to say thank you to our sponsor. That's Dr. Brett Robin, the former Texas running back, is now an orthopedic specialist at Austin Orthopedic Institute. Thank him for sponsoring On Texas Football. I had a fan at the tailgate tell me that their aunt had a procedure because of Dr. Robin and really helped her out. Dr. Robin, a former Longhorn running back, knows what it takes to stay in the game, and he's here for athletes of all ages, specializing in musculoskeletal health. Dr. Robin treats joint pain and injuries with a conservative approach first, but also offers advanced surgical options, including arthroscopic procedures, fracture management, and total joint replacements. With convenient offices in Austin, Georgetown, and Killeen, Dr. Robin is accepting new patients now. If you're looking for a top-notch orthopedic, give Dr. Robin a call, 512-856-1000. That's 512-856-1000. Get back to your active lifestyle and doing what you love with Dr. Brett Robin at Austin Orthopedic Institute. Jerry, I look at this and and as we go forward for Texas this week. Still don't know the outcome of Emmett Mosley, of Jonah Williams, of Trey Wisner. Alex Jeanery looks like he's going to be out for another week. Sark added that to the conversation. We knew it would be at least 2 weeks.
Will we see Nick Brooks at all this year?
Yeah, or will we see Nick Brooks? And if so, when? What are your thoughts on the injuries mounting? It almost seems like they're none of them are year-long injuries, but they're adding up at a time when Texas wanted to kind of get its mojo started. Yeah. And for that reason, I think that there's going to be some issues later in the year because they just haven't gotten the reps that other teams have with their players.
I mean, it's almost like are they going to start? Is Texas going to start SEC play with where they wanted to start games 2, 3, and 4? That's
right. That's what I'm saying.
That's a bad thing when you're at Florida and you have Oklahoma right after it. I mean, then you're at Kentucky, and then you're on the road the whole month. So that's a really tough place to be in for this Texas offense. I totally agree, and it's going to give some of that running back rotation a chance to work itself out. I think the offensive line rotation a chance to work itself out. Tight end rotation. So it's giving some opportunity. But the other thing that happens, Bobby, Sark hit on this today. The other thing that happens when you have a bunch of starters that are out, and especially if you're not playing well on offense, you don't get a chance to play the young players because you never extend a lead.
Yep.
I mean,
that's what happened on Saturday.
That's what happened on Saturday. So even if Arch played poorly in the passing game, if you had DeAndre Moore out there, you'd had Trey Wisner out there. I mean, who knows with Emmett Mosley? He's a really good player, though. We know that. And had all those guys out there. Maybe you're a couple of plays, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of explosive runs potentially. Just a couple more plays there from extending the lead and then being able to get some of the young freshmen, wide receivers in the game, which you weren't able to do. So that's what hurts you. It's not just hurting the continuity offense now. It's hurting the depth build for later if you have injuries during SEC play. Then you're going to really green players.
I completely agree. It's one of the things I don't like how it's stacking up for Texas right now. And in part, there just been a lot of little things like that are kind of irksome as you look at it on the whole. Don't forget later tonight, Bob Shipley and CJ Vogel join our Rod Babers for the Monday night live stream. That should be a lot of fun. They'll talk a little football, a little recruiting as well. I know Rod and CJ have been rewatching the game yet again today. So they'll have some more for you guys as well. Thank you also to our producer, Matt Hutchinson. Thank you to Dr. Brett Robin. Remember, Dr. Robin, the former Texas running back, knows what it takes to stay in the game. He treats joint pain and injuries with a conservative approach. First, has offices across Central Texas, Austin, Georgetown, and Killeen. 512-856-1000. That's 512-856-1000. All right, Jerry, that's going to do it for Talking Ball this week. We'll look forward to seeing you guys again soon. You guys have a good one. Hook 'em.